Welcome everyone to another episode of Section 305, the sports show. It's been a minute since we've been back, but at the same time, throughout the platforms, we've been doing our predictions for every single NFL games going through every single week, primetime games, or basically games of the week. So
apologies for the 1 weekend we missed. Apologies for that.
apologies for
we've been so damn busy with everything,
especially with Anthony Aguirre roundtable. Like applause to him. He's covering every single Miami team.
Yeah, no, well, Hurricanes is a
Mostly.
bit of the Hurricanes beat. Like, it's fun and all, but that they're trying to find somebody else to take care of that. That way, I'm on the Heat full time.
That's gonna come to you.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. Listen, for the time being, I'm enjoying it because of course the Hurricanes 5-0. You can't. I mean, they're a fun team right now, so I'm loving it. But once the Heat is my full priority, it's gonna be so much smoother.
Yep, and the rest of the other teams, South Florida, you're covering. Just let the audience know. So,
well, no, I'm not covering every other team because last time we met, of course I was, but damn, Nick just left. But
he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. But the latest update was we were assigned for the season, so of course I'm on the full Heat beat. Hurricanes for the time being, just here and there. The Magic, they have their two writers, Andrew and Don. They're great writers. Andrew Jedico and then Don Straddle or Strabble. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But those are my guys. They're taking care of the Magic beat, and they're excellent writers. So they're also over there at Orlando attending games, attending practices. So we're really pushing through this season, man.
Yeah, of course. It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. You know, they got every single right person in the coverage that they need. So right now, hey, you started working as a greeter for the Miami Heat, and now,
my time has passed. It was a hard decision because I had to make it very, very soon than I thought. But I mean,
for me, it was harder for me since you're not gonna be with me in the section.
Yeah, no, trust me. You leaving, trust me, not leaving, but not seeing you guys as often as I used to is hard.
Of course.
But either way, I understand the struggle you guys go through every other night. So it's like that connection is
we're all striving. We're all striving in our careers. Me with 3 jobs working at the Heat organization, and then the other 2 radio stations. At the same time, we got this podcast, which we're informing the whole audience. Sometimes why there's some weeks that we cannot pull up a show, but at the same time, we're trying to be consistent. Our schedule is really hard.
We needed a small break. It was because everything.
Definitely, we needed a breather. We needed a breather for us to continue to prevail, and that's exactly what we're gonna be doing. And our priority for this sports show is to inform, give different opinions.
Oh yeah,
perspective. At the same time, have a open mindset. People that haven't heard those type of factors, stats, overall of what we comment in this sports show. And the variety of what we cover. So this is something that we wanted to be even bigger in the nearest future. We're called the Section 305 Sports Show. We do cover majority South Florida teams, but
we cover everywhere else too.
Everything in NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL, UFC, boxing, tennis, golf, soccer. And right now, Anthony, this is actually one of the most occupying seasons that we're having. Because right now the WNBA series finals just ended. We can have that topic
for the Las Vegas Aces, of course.
We gotta have that topic for another day because AJ Wilson.
That's Hall of Famer. I mean, she already had a Hall of Fame career. She's just stacking up her resume.
I have her in the Mount Rushmore already. Mm-hmm. Now, is she the greatest player to ever live in the WNBA? We're gonna leave that topic so we don't have to our rundown. But my answer is yes. We'll have a different opinion from you, Colia, when he joins us in the next show. We can probably have that topic since it concluded.
Yeah.
On Friday, Nick as well. I mean, right now at the same time we're in the upcoming of week 7 this Thursday of NFL, week 8 of college football. 1 week from today is the start of the NBA season, which that's our first topic. The NHL already started. The Panthers had their first loss. They're going to be the rest of the season with Alexander Barkov, but they still got the talent. So are contenders in the East.
They showed last season, even when all the injuries stack up, as long as they get those main pieces back in the playoffs,
overcome those obstacles.
Exactly. Like even Kachuk, like he was like compared to the first time they went to the finals, and then compared to the first time they won.
Yeah,
and then compare
different
to
scenario.
And then compared to the recent their recent victory, Kachuk has had different roles, and in the recent championship, he wasn't the go-to scorer. He wasn't the main focus.
Of course,
he was there to cause havoc and defend, and that's what he did. They have everything really surrounded around him to just excel and go for a three-peat.
At the same time, look for good pieces in the defense side to protect Sergei Bobrovsky. Don't give him the whole load on him.
Yeah, exactly, because he carried a lot for sure. Especially, even though the Oilers were they got shut down in a couple games, but still a offensive threat like that, you could not let your guard down for a damn second.
Yep, that was a big win.
Next thing you know, McDavid is out there going off crazy, but it's obviously that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and at the same time, throughout the last years that they've been recruiting the right pieces, and Brad Marchand has been a blessing.
Oh, absolutely.
So losing Barkov is that's a low blow, obviously, for the team. But at the same time, they got so many talent. If they stay healthy, they're still contenders. Let's just have them as contenders.
Also, you gotta keep in mind, these guys, they've been playing long seasons now for 3 straight years.
Yep.
So they're human,
even though they have that chemistry.
Exactly, they have the chemistry, but their bodies are worn down for 3 straight years now. So not
going all the way through the Stanley Cup. They've been to 3 straight Stanley Cups.
Exactly.
So they're the last team that has rested.
Exactly. So they're not super rested. So if anything, is
the majority of this decade. Yep.
Yeah. So if anything, is good that if anything, he misses the season, but just gets back for the playoffs, then we'll see what happens there.
Of course. And just to go to our first headline, with all the sports that I've been mentioning, we're going through week 7 of NFL, week 8 of college football. The last week was the first week of NHL. Next Tuesday, NBA starts. College basketball is around the corner, male and female in November. And then the upcoming fights in UFC and boxing. We just saw the ending of the WNBA. We're seeing the ending of the MLB, which is going to be one of our topics for today. This is one of the most busy moments.
Yeah. Also,
seasons for us.
I don't know if you know this. I'm pretty sure you probably do as a Gator fan. You guys were ranked top 3 for the preseason. So, of course, you got to respect the champs. Of course, you got to respect it.
But at the same time, 3 of their star players are in the NBA right now.
Of course. I mean,
including Walter Payton Jr. So
every college year is a different roster. But, hey, man.
Mostly when a team wins a national championship, they also analyze the talent that they have entering the upcoming. They don't disrespect them from putting them out of the 25. Let's just say in college football. Let's just say in college football or top 10. Same thing goes with basketball, but they're not going to put them number 1 when they see teams being mostly the favorites in the upcoming season. So it's understandable, and it's going to be an interesting game in Vegas against Arizona. That's going to be top highlight. But right now, comparing to the football team, I think a rough season. I mean, that big win against Texas, that was interesting against Arch Manning. But Texas reinvented themselves this weekend against Oklahoma. So Florida took them out of the top 25. Now they're in because they beat Oklahoma. We're going to be seeing surprising scenarios in college football. Teams entering the top 25. Teams little by little escalating to the top 10, top 5. Others regressing. That's how college football is, but that'll be another topic for another day. So, Anthony, why don't we just go with the first, since we've got also Nick. See, we've been improvising until Nick came back. and joining us. He's been having work.
There's our boy.
Appreciate it, guys. Sorry about that.
Anthony, you're not gonna let him get away with this. Are you seeing what he's wearing right now?
I mean, listen, what can we say, man? What can we say? Listen, he's a loyalist.
Nick,
he's a loyalist, man.
Nick, as a respect to you, remember when we were talking about when we started this sports show, like we are all Florida Panthers. But at the same time, we see teams that actually were superior to them during the regular season, not the postseason. And I had my little doubts towards them, but I still supported them. But at the moment, I face reality. What reality are you facing right now when my team is actually leading the same division you guys had? The floor is yours.
You're talking about the Florida Panthers or the Miami Dolphins?
I'm talking about
Dolphins. He's talking about Dolphins.
New England. I'm sure that you were. I started off saying when did the Panthers finish top 3 in the East? No, they did not. They actually were number 4. So did they had that expectations to make it all the way? No, they did not. In the postseason, they look like the Kansas City Chiefs. They have their flaws during the season, and all of a sudden, in the postseason, light bulb switches, and they become the team that most people expect that they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game. So we were seeing the Florida Panthers little by little in every series, but I still have my doubts, even though you had faith on them. And it wasn't until the Eastern Conference Finals that I said, man, the Panthers actually have the tools to win it all, especially with the acquisition of Brad Marchand. They've been proving they're not the same regular season team as the postseason. I started off with that just to let you know that there's a difference. Like right now, why are you having that type of faith in a team that is because they beat the Jets, they have 1 win, and they're not last in the division. But now you should have respected me and at least wear a Patriot gear, knowing that they're leading the division for the first time since Brady left that organization.
Well, listen, sir, I'm a true Dolphin at heart. Okay, I'm not gonna own any Patriots, any Boston Celtics, any NHL, any Boston Bruins, anything Boston related or New York related. I'm a
Patriot and I have Dolphin gear.
Good
I'm
for
Miami
you.
Heat.
I'm
a Yankee fan and I got a Marlin gear.
If I buy players' items, it's from my personal favorite players. The only player that I will buy a jersey from the Patriots is nobody because I do not like any Patriot that played. I will buy
Drake May. So you don't like Drake May right now.
Oh, I don't like any of the dude. I don't like Bills. I don't like Patriots, and I don't like Jets.
Man, you're a sports analyst.
I'm a sports analyst with my own opinion.
You gotta be neutral. I'm
entitled to I'm allowed to be a fan of teams. I'm not allowed to be a fan of. I'm allowed to be not a fan of other teams. It's that simple. You know, I'm gonna cover those teams, and I'm gonna give them my bias. I'm gonna give them my opinion, not biased. I'm gonna give them my opinion on what I think is best for those teams, but I'm never gonna be biased on.
The reason why another reason I'm mentioning that is because I'm not gonna let you get away with it since you trying to be trolling my Yankees.
Raul, how often would you hear Bobby praise the Yankees?
Who?
Big Papi from the Red Sox. Like, how many are you gonna get?
I was gonna say the S word. You already know what that means. Like S him, but let's keep it casual because I already know how he trolled Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter after the Yankees got eliminated. But you know why? You know why? Why did he troll him? Because we eliminated the Red Sox in the first round. I understand. For him, it was like, oh, karma is you know what. But we'll have that topic for another day as well. Like, let's get first to the NBA, and then we'll go to MLB. Not talking about the Yankees, not talking about even the Marlins, which actually they're coming. They were 7 offensively. They were 7 in batting this season. All they need to do is get a couple of pitchers.
They won't
get that bullpen better. And they were top 5 worst this season, and they still didn't have a record that most people would expect. Horrible. They were actually still in the mixture to make it to the playoffs. And they are the reason why the Mets didn't even make it to the playoffs. So the Marlins actually were one of the most surprising teams, even though they didn't make it to the postseason.
Let's jump right in so we don't lose much on timing.
All right, well, we'll get to baseball afterwards. Let's go with our biggest takeaways from the NBA preseason 2025 so far. Nick, the floor is yours. What's your big takeaway of what you've seen right now?
Well, I have a couple, but I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short.
Priority. Maybe your
I'm-
priority, like
I'm really liking the way that the San Antonio Spurs are looking. You know, I may be a little excited about the double
they're undefeated.
7'1".
They're 4-0.
I may be a little excited about the double 7'1" center game between Wemby and Luke Cornet. But they're looking nice. They're looking good. They hustle. They can rebound. They play defense offensively. Even Cornet's looking good offensively, playing next to Wemby. Everyone looks super comfortable in the court. I'm really excited to see what the Spurs have for this season. And my other takeaway is,
what about the backcourt?
Oh, the backcourt. I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll be fine. Well, even though they have Dylan Harper and De'Aaron.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, they could actually have for third straight year a rookie of the year. They have Victor, they have Stephen Castle, and then Harper. Harper actually has expectations.
I don't think obviously he has expectations, but I don't think he's going to get rookie of the year just because I don't think his workload is going to be what we're going to see from other rookies like Ace Bailey, who I was going to say was my next big takeaway from the preseason.
But before I cut you up, is Harper a backup?
Well, Harper's going to be playing the two. He's going to be playing the two
for Stephen Castle because De'Aaron Fox is the starter.
Oh, that's right. Well,
let's see what they do with Fox. Wait,
we'll see.
I forgot. Did they extend Fox?
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like at some point they might trade.
That's one of the signing players that they extend, including Luka Doncic.
I feel like they're going to trade him at some point. I think for this season, nothing I've heard. I just feel like he'll be a trade candidate because the backcourt is loaded, man. What are you going to do? What are you going to get from Fox?
Well, you're gonna get the same.
Wait. What are you saying? Wait a minute. What are you saying? That you feel like De'Aaron could be in a trade block?
Yeah, I feel like he could be at some point.
Why would San Antonio do that?
Because what's important
when they just lost Chris Paul.
What have they been doing for like the past few years? They've been developing their players. Is De'Aaron Fox not gonna probably hold the development of Harper?
De'Aaron requested literally specific in the trade deadline to go to San Antonio. He didn't have options. He didn't have like a list of teams. He said, "I want to go to San Antonio."
Then why get another young guard? They're loaded in the.
Why does OKC? Why does OKC get young forwards? Why does OKC get young guards like Aaron Wiggins? Why does OKC get those type of?
I can see where you come from, Anthony, when it comes to trading Fox. I just don't think the Spurs would do it now. If they were going to be doing it, unless they're like really bad halfway through the season, then they're going to do it most likely. But I don't expect them to be bad. I think they're going to be good, and they should keep Fox throughout the entire season just to build up Dylan Harper. You know, yes, Dylan Harper is a very good player, but he's a rookie. He's not fully complete yet.
At least also, okay. Let me ask you. Wait, Raul, hang on. Before this, okay. Yes or no, real quick. Do you guys have the Spurs as contenders in the West? Just so I know where you guys are. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, Raul?
I have all three Texas team being a top 6.
Okay, I can respect that. Now, what does De'Aaron want? He wants to compete, of course. He's been wasting so many years in Sacramento. Obviously, he wants to compete. Are these young Spurs, even though they added some good veterans, are they ready to compete?
Well, that's the point of having the veterans around.
I mean, it depends on Mitch Johnson, the coach.
Yeah, and that's another question. Okay, what's his coaching style? Because is he going to be the same as Pop? Is it going to be his own way? We'll learn as the season goes on. But I'm not saying the Spurs are just going to waste the season. I expect them to be good this year. I'm just not so sure if Fox fits into their plan.
I feel like San Antonio is a team like OKC. Little by little, they're building a team that can compete and be contenders if they're healthy. Because OKC, you would never expect it compared to all those Western Conference that have reinforced, like have invested money in superstars, star players, valuable veterans, you can name it. But OKC literally has been developing Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace,
True.
Aaron Wiggins, Kenrick Williams, and then you got SGA that nobody thought was gonna become a superstar at this type of level that will win the same season MVP, scoring champion, Western Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP, a ring. You know that he could have joined AJ Wilson because right now Wilson is the only player, male or female, to win everything that I just mentioned from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and including Defensive Player of the Year. No player ever has done that. So Shai literally needed Defensive Player of the Year to be at the same level as AJ Wilson to make history.
But the biggest difference.
And then you got their center Chet Holmgren that they lost at the beginning of the season, and they still were stable thanks to Isaiah Hartenstein keeping the things under control, like doing both sides of the paint, offensively and defensively. And then you got a second star in that team. Who would ever thought also?
But here's the biggest difference with OKC and the Spurs. Not that the Spurs are like completely like different or like there's not a big gap. I'm not saying there's a big gap, but at the same time, the Thunder made great acquisitions in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. They put the perfect veterans alongside those guys, those young players. And I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is not a good veteran, but does he provide that same kind of impact for the Spurs?
I'm talking about OKC.
I started with OKC. I'm saying like
they got the veterans now. They needed those two pieces in order to make it all the way. They were the same team that made it number one in the Western Conference. They could have gone to the Western Conference Finals without those two veterans.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying this now. Those two helped them get over the top. Now with the Spurs, does De'Aaron Fox bring a similar impact? I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I don't really see the timeline.
Actually, that is a really good question, Anthony. And this I'm gonna reply with. So, what are the two veterans that OKC got? When we were seeing basically a trio between Jalen Williams, just became a star, and also a good clutch player that they don't have to rely every time on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Chet Holmgren, he's been there in the postseason. We're not gonna give him most of the credit. Actually, the best game he had
a couple games there where he shined bright. A couple games.
He was X factor in the game that I mentioned to you guys. Game 7.
Yep.
5 blocks, and also he produced offensively. They needed that from him because in the finals, he was actually a sleeper.
Yep.
He was not having big moments. That was where they need him the most. What I'm trying to say with this, San Antonio's a young team, just like Oklahoma. They've been developing little by little. Now they got a young coach, like what they have with OKC, who won Coach of the Year last season. Easily could have won this one. They acquired 2 veterans, which I agree with you, were the last pieces to then be successful. Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. What does San Antonio have? Just like OKC,
in terms
they have a veteran, De'Aaron Fox, that is hungry to win a chip, like Isaiah Hartenstein, and they got a champion like a Harrison Barnes with Alex Caruso going with OKC. Both of them having only 1 chip in their resume.
And Luke Cornett with Boston.
And now Luke Cornett with Boston. Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Cornett is obviously really good. I'm not denying that.
Okay, but what about Harrison Barnes?
Harrison Barnes, in the finals that he was in, the finals run with the Warriors,
2015.
He wasn't his best. And in the playoffs, he was not his best that year. I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying he wasn't his best. He's obviously great. He's obviously
he wasn't his best, but then he got a big contract with Dallas.
Yeah, because people overpay sometimes.
My vision for this San Antonio Spurs team.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. My vision for the San Antonio Spurs team is something similar to what the Miami Heat were doing with Tyler Hero when he came into the league, where you're not gonna give Dylan Harper the keys. You're not gonna give him load management, but you're gonna have him come off the bench, be that nice super 6 man that you really need for your roster, And then That's why they should let the season play out with Fox, see
That's
how
all
it
I'd
goes
say.
with him. If he's bad, if he's not, we'll see what happens. And then from there, you have a really good deep bench in the playoffs with a really good backcourt. Your center play they'll come in time because Wemby's just generational, and then Luke Cornett's a really good backup center.
That's a
And
big
again,
take.
we've seen both of them together on the same court, and they've played very well.
Yeah.
I think it's a good position to put Dylan Harper in like a Tyler Hero type of a role for now. Not necessarily of the shooting and scoring. I'm just saying it more like load management wise, where you give him that super six-man role to succeed because he has that capability of leaping to that level. Now, when it comes to Rookie of the Year, he definitely has a huge case to win it, especially if he's put in that position. I just think it's going to go towards someone else like Ace Bailey,
Ace Bailey.
who has a wider load management with Utah now, who is averaging 22.5 points a game in the preseason. Yes, preseason numbers and regular season numbers do not correlate
Of
always,
course.
but something that I liked from Ace Bailey was the little dogging that he talked with Kevin Durant, a little like trash talk that he had. The guy's got a dog.
You already know how Karen responded to that.
Yeah, but Ace Bailey's got that dog in him. Everyone knows that. It's just I think the Spurs are really well set up right now, and I don't think they would do anything to their roster to kind of mess it up.
And Carter Bryant from Arizona.
Oh yeah, that too. Well, and then like I don't think they would do anything right now too harsh to like press the panic button unless things get really bad.
That's the only thing disagreeing with you, Anthony. Like trade De'Aaron for what? Like you got the team.
No, it makes sense.
Like
don't get me wrong. It makes sense.
You had a 1-year veteran point guard, which is in his last moments. Now you got somebody that you're building for the future with Victor Wembanyama. Like imagine De'Aaron and Victor probably being like an amazing dynamic duo.
But De'Aaron is not even a pass first point guard.
Yeah, but that's the other thing with De'Aaron.
But you think that Mitch Johnson, who is a coach, like, and I agree with you. Let's see the style play that he has. You think he's not gonna have Greg Popovich over here in his ear? Like,
no, obviously,
Pat Riley was with Eric Spoelstra.
Of course, Greg has every right. Greg has every right to have control in that organization, rightfully so. But then that's where that's where egos clash, because of course he's in a position where
it hasn't happened with Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra.
No, of course, but not everyone has that dynamic though. Not everybody.
Okay,
because keep in mind, as much as I've crept on the Heat this summer, they do a great job in establishing relationships. But Eric Spoelstra understood what Pat Riley built. Yeah. So it's and I'm not saying that Greg is not understood. I'm just saying because of the way the league is nowadays, it's so different compared to when Greg came in. He's gonna want to make a new name for himself, especially with the Spurs organization. That's still a big deal, even though it's not a big market. That is a big deal. So I'm just not seeing it just yet in terms of where De'Aaron fits just yet. I just don't see it. I just don't see it with all these young guards.
So I actually wrote it down on the board a little bit of like a little bit of their roster. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't. It's really light. Raul, the reason why I was saying it kind of makes sense to trade De'Aaron is just because of how weak their wing play is off their bench. I know that you have Vassell. I know you have Barnes. Yes, you have Bryant. But I really feel like what Anthony's saying, you could package like Fox or even like Hypothetically,
that happens, and you get at least a couple of first-round picks and veterans.
But at that point,
who's gonna take control of the team as a point guard position? Like who's gonna distribute the ball to Victor Wembanyama and the rest of the crew? That's not gonna be Stephen Castle. Stephen Castle doesn't play that spot. Dylan Harper's a shooting guard.
Dylan Harper. That would go more towards Dylan Harper.
So he's gotta play a position he hasn't played. So he's got to play.
He can do it.
Bro, nowadays, so many shooting guards are asked to play in point guards. Look at the Heat right now. As great as Davion is, and as decent, even though this is kind of lopsided, as decent as Drew Smith has been in the past, even Rozier or even Tyler.
Yep.
Those guys came into the league as shooting guards.
Yep.
But they're asked to play point guard. So this whole thing that brings with the issue. Who's gonna pass Victor the ball so much? Fox is a point guard, but he's a score first point guard. Yes, he's a good passer, but he does.
But he's a player that is actually average 4 or 5 assists per game.
No, and again, I'm not saying he's a ball hog. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying
he has a score first mentality.
With Chris Paul, what made him really help Victor is because, of course, he is a dish first point guard. He knows how to get your
and he knows how to develop players at the same time. Like he knows
exactly. He knows how to get his teammates in the right spots. He knows where his teammates want the ball. He knows like damn near every angle. So I just don't see how De'Aaron can sort of fulfill that.
I don't think he needs to fulfill that. I just think he needs to fulfill like his role in that scoring aspect. Because again, you look at the Spurs rotation, and you're going with Wemby as your true number one guy to get you all those points. But outside of him, De'Aaron Fox is basically the Jamal Murray role for what this San Antonio Spurs team is. He's gonna come in there, give you 20,
that worked with Nikola. That worked with Nikola.
That's what I'm saying. You average 20, 25 points per game with him. You have a really stacked bench that knows how to facilitate the ball, knows how to move the ball. Again, I see where you come from with moving Fox, so you can get some good wing depth. And at that point, I was going to mention Cooper Flagg has been announced to play point guard for the
starting of the season.
Yeah, for the start of the season, which it goes back to the point of it's positionless basketball. So in reality, you could package Fox and Branham, for example, and you can go to like hey, let's just say. Who's a team that's missing a point guard right now? Like let's just say Phoenix, for example, because Devin Booker cannot play.
Phoenix. Devin Booker.
You can package De'Aaron Fox and Branham for some picks, for some players. Get some wing play on the team. I 100% see where they come from.
They would actually get like maybe 2-3 round picks. I'm not only saying first, second rounders, and Dylan Brooks as a defensive player go to San Antonio.
Oh yeah, that would be actually.
I don't think they would do that.
I mean, they would have to offer. But I mean, hey, if they're asking for De'Aaron, let's just say Phoenix, like they gotta offer a veteran like Dylan Brooks.
I don't think Phoenix is an exact good. I don't think they're a great example to use to trade with San Antonio because they were
at the same time guard play. But at the same time, all right. So quickly. Because Anthony has actually given his biggest takeaway.
We've just been doing straight San Antonio Spurs.
So all right, so
this is a great elaboration.
All right, so right now, I mean, Houston lost Fred VanVleet for the season.
Yes,
they lost Fred VanVleet through a season, and
they need help there,
and they need help right there, like in that position. Like, who's gonna play point guard for that team?
As of right now, obviously Reed Shepherd and backing him up.
Reed Shepherd is a scorer. I understand when Nick says that sometimes it's a positionless
it's a positionless game.
Yeah.
But
Reed Shepherd,
also Aaron Holiday is backing him up. If I'm not mistaken. Aaron Holiday.
Yeah. He's been through decades in the league. Still hasn't been that type of player that you can rely on having an impact for a team. Obviously, I'm not gonna say Portland, even though they're not gonna have Damian Lillard for the rest of the season. So I don't know if they're trying to have somebody until he comes back. So I doubt that. Sacramento, they're not gonna acquire him back.
I do think Advia is going to be very good for them this year. I think Denny Advia actually might take a leap this year for them. I'm not even
for Portland.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, me too. What about Minnesota? Mike Conley doesn't look like the lefty right now that can help offensively. Edwards.
Actually, now that you mentioned Minnesota, I did a recent piece. I sent you guys the link of former Heat guard looking to get back in the league, Victor Oladipo, and
he balled.
Yeah, he's been balling in the preseason.
It was against San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it was.
Yeah,
I mentioned in the article that two teams that make sense for him because they kind of lack point guard depth. Maybe San Antonio can be in the mix too. Now we're talking about it. Minnesota and Sacramento. Those two teams need more guard depth, and he can play the 1 and the 2. So
I'm looking at the rest of the teams in the East, and they're settled. Like, I mean, maybe Washington. Washington actually doesn't have a point guard.
Yeah, maybe that too. That's why I didn't mention the Heat for a reunion because they're pretty stacked right now.
And Boston lost Drew Holiday. Anthony Simons is not a point guard, and you're already talking about him being in a trade block.
The De'Aaron Fox Heat dream is over. That died with me last year.
No, I'm not saying De'Aaron. I'm not even suggesting that. I just
let's just say
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
You possibly think because why are we having this conversation? This was nobody mentioned this except you.
Yeah.
So
I just don't. I don't know. I see
So
a scenario.
what about Boston? You said Anthony Simon's probably going to be in trade block,
Yeah,
and they don't have a point guard. De'Aaron Fox joining Jalen Brown, and then
I don't see
Tatum,
why not. I don't see why not. I generally don't see why not.
and then the rest of the teams, like everybody has their point guards in the East, and Brooklyn, yeah, they got
Brooklyn's
like
a mess,
that's a mess. That's a mess, and all the rookies that they got, I'm like,
bro.
what?
They missed out on 4 first rounders.
They missed on so many literally 4 first rounders. All right, so Anthony, what was your biggest takeaway from the preseason? I got one. Which
looks
depresses
motivated.
me, but it is what it is.
Khalil Ward looks motivated, man. He's been balling so far. He's had three double doubles.
He's been the best backup player in the preseason.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm trying to like.
And the Heat are 0-5.
Yeah, regardless, it's preseason, so I'm not taking their record into account. And especially in my takeaway articles, I generally don't. I'm not factoring into all those things.
I mean, I'm surprised by you, Anthony. Like,
hey man,
is there a change? Hey Nick, is there a change of scenario with Anthony? Like, he's actually been very humble with it.
It's very possible.
Different perspective. He's giving benefit of the doubts.
I haven't heard him say Orlando Magic in at least a couple of weeks, so I think something's changing.
Listen.
This guy looks like he's staying in South Florida.
Look. Khalil has been playing with a different motor, and I like to see it because if he takes it into the regular season,
he's actually averaging Anthony Davis type of numbers.
Exactly.
Preseason when Anthony Davis was a rookie, but yeah.
Listen, I don't expect these numbers to carry on because again, you're gonna get Tyler back at some point. I kind of think he'll be back in December, early December. Of course, and you have other players who need the ball more. Of course, Bam is a top option. So I don't see Khalil having these type of monster numbers, but I do see like 10 and 8, type of numbers consistently. If he gets those up there, now the question is, is he a primary 6-man? Because right now he's more in a prove it situation.
He's played like a primary 6-man.
No, of course, but like you look
over Jaime and over like any other players in the preseason that we've watched.
Of course, but also you look at last night's game where he started alongside Bam. And okay, because here's the dilemma. Okay, you have Jovic, who you just extended. You have Khalil Ware, who proved to be a great starting center in the league alongside Bam Adebayo, which has been your biggest issue, size. And Jovic, even Spoelstra said this to us. He wants Jovic to be a better rebounder. He still hasn't proven that yet. Of course, he missed a couple of games here because of a lower back pain. Nothing too serious right now. But okay, so where do you go with this now? Do you go with the guy you just extended or the guy who actually fits alongside your 2 stars? That's my thing. Because if Khalil is a starter,
I feel Khalil has to do the same as what Anthony Davis did throughout his career. What they're expecting from Victor and Chet Holmgren, like he's gotta get big.
Yeah, no, and he has. If you look like, listen, man, I've been to the practices recently. I've seen him. I've been seeing him work out. He looks like he looks ready, and that's great to see. So I'm like, so he's done that, which is great. Continue to do that. But now, okay, what role is he going to be in? Because if he's a reserve, then he can be a 6-man candidate. If he's a starter, then we still got to see if he's like playing with that kind of motor, and also still leave an impact, not flashing numbers, but just have an impact on the court.
Right. Yeah.
But that's my biggest takeaway is Khalil Ware. He's playing with a different motivation. Also, Jaime has looked really good. Yeah, he went through a sophomore slump. I like what I'm seeing from him, and Bam has been looking more vocal, which I like to see because, of course, this is a big deal for them. This is their first season without Jimmy, so they're taking on more. They're taking on more responsibilities. So I like to see. So far from the Heat, I like what I'm seeing. Obviously, not winning is not an issue, not a panic, but just a minor concern. But it's like, okay, let's see how we go into the regular season. Take advantage. Of course, you're going to face 12 Eastern Conference teams in your first 20 games. You have to win those games because of the standings. So,
especially a flexible.
Also, this is the thing from last night's game against the Hawks. We're recording on Tuesday. We're recording on what? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're uploading on a Wednesday.
Monday.
So today's Tuesday.
Oh, we're recording. Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording on a Tuesday just for the
I
viewers.
thought you were
So
talking about next week.
yeah, no, we're recording on a Tuesday. This is gonna be uploaded on Wednesday tomorrow. And Norman Powell did not look good against the Hawks. And that's the thing. If this team is gonna survive without Hero, they gotta
that was only one game, man. Calm down.
no, but they gotta they can't afford an off night.
He needs to be that consistent every game for them to survive.
He's been through the preseason.
Until Hero comes back.
Through the preseason. He's been through the preseason. That's just one game, man.
Of course.
But you can't. But here's the thing, though. Even in the regular season, this team cannot afford an off night without Hero. They can't afford it.
Yep. This is true. That is actually facts. Like if Hero's not on the court to be that guy to score your shots or even facilitate every now and then, you're trusting Norman Powell. And outside of that, who else? Like seriously, who else? Bam.
All right. So
yeah, because Davion is not a high volume scorer.
Let me take piggyback with what you say. So when are we gonna expect the captain of the team, the guy that's been selected multiple occasions as an all-star, the guy that has won 2 gold medals, he's been either the starter or the backup center for Team USA. Like when you've got that type of recognition, when is that guy gonna be your primary offensive player?
Well,
other than defensive player.
Very quickly, Anthony, do you mind if I take this?
Primarily, number one option if Hero is not there. Like when is he gonna be reliable every single day offensively when he's been working on his 3-point shots, when he actually has he's got a good follow through. We already know how athletic he is offensively and defensively at the same time. Like defensive player of the year should also be based on like efficiency. Like what are you forcing your opponent? Like forcing him turnovers at the same time, bad shot attempts. Other than the steals and blocks that you average, that's what a defensive player of the year, mostly than statistics. It has to be also efficiently, and he has that. But offensively, when are we going to see our captain literally lead us way, take us to the promised land? Especially when our star players are not there.
For me, with Bam Adebayo, at least, because that is who we're talking about, I assume our captain, Bam Adebayo. When it comes with him, he has the potential to average 20 and 10. We've seen it, you know? I just think his role for this team isn't supposed to be as offensive as it is. Like now it's going to be. Now it has to be as offensive. Now it has to be super offensive. Last year, I felt like it was him trying to make that transition of being that number one guy over Jimmy Butler since all the Jimmy Butler drama and news was going around.
You felt he got exposed?
Well, I don't think he was exposed. I think it's just him figuring out the system because again, the entire team was trying to figure out what they were doing without Jimmy Butler and with the drama on the court and off the court. And then at the same time, Jimmy Butler's been with those guys for years now. So when you're taking away someone from that locker room with that type of chemistry with those people on the court, it's definitely going to have an effect in the game, no matter who it is. Like you can take LeBron off the Lakers, terrible example, but you can take LeBron off the Lakers and they're obviously going to fail, you know, not fail, but they're going to struggle. Bam Adebayo and his role this year, he needs to go back to that 20 and 10 season, those seasons that we've seen him do.
That was actually going to be a good example because when LeBron was out, Anthony Davis actually with D'Angelo, they were producing. He was playing all-star Davis level, and that's why the Lakers made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals that season when LeBron had to be out for the majority of the second half. And that's the type of thing that we need to see from Bam.
And that's the trend I see Bam on. Even though he may not do a lot offensively, yes, last year was a very big struggle for him defensively. I think that if his defense really stands out, that's all that's going to matter for this Miami Heat team because that's our identity at the end of the day. We try to prioritize in our defense. Regardless of how bad our defense is, we always try to prioritize it. And Bam is the definition of Miami Heat defense, you know? He can guard anyone from the 1 to the 5, and people discredit him a lot for it, you know? So, yes, his offensive totals have really pushed him down from where he was in ranks at least. But I think Bam's in a good place, man. I think he's going to produce. I think he's going to be fine defensively. You know, even when he's not scoring the ball, we're going to see him defensively making stops, making blocks, making steals. He's always doing something. It's about his intangibles that really what sets him aside.
I also feel after the season that AJ Wilson had, come on, man. You got to have that motivation, inspiration. Come on, man.
Funny thing, as soon as he came
back. Look what she's doing. It's your turn.
Funny thing.
I guess to the promised land.
The day after the Aces won, that he had practice, Bam was there. So it was I was kind of shocked to see him there. But okay.
You know how they do? They fly.
I know, but I was kind of shocked, not gonna lie. But and the funny thing is, he was like only Heat questions. Don't ask me. It was a joke, but
of course, yeah.
But let me ask you guys this: with Bam, obviously this is different for him. This is the first time where he is a full season, a 1 or 2 option. When a player enters their 9th year in the league,
beginning of the season, he's supposed to be the first option.
Yeah, no, of course. But this time is more definitive.
Yeah.
A player entering their 9th year, should we still expect another leap? Because we can't at this point. When a player is at this point in their career, we know more so what they're about. We know more so what they're capable of, what they're not able to do. So it's like, can we really expect another leap? I don't think so. I think we can expect another great year, but not another leap.
I think leaps are.
But I feel like he has to have that mentality.
No. I think leaps.
I feel like he has to have that as a mentality. Like, all right, basically, all right. I had Wade, I had Jimmy Butler. Now I'm with Hero, but he's out the first 2 months. It's about time to me to prove the world what I'm capable of.
But I don't think it's that leap mentality that he has to take, though, because again, for me at least, when it comes to players taking their leaps, we normally see that from 2nd, 3rd, 4th year players. You know, like yes, you have your players every now and then, like a completely different sport, but Geno Smith, for example, you know, he just randomly had a leap one year for Seattle. You know, it may not be the greatest.
That's a bad
one. Yeah. All right, well, whatever. I don't think it's necessarily a leap that we're looking for. I think Bam just needs to stay consistent from what we've seen from him in the past and just stay there for us to succeed. If he can play like an all-star, like what we've seen him play at, then we'll be fine. That's my opinion on that. I don't think it's a leap because again, leaps for me are for players entering their 3rd, 4th, even their 2nd season. You know, like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards didn't have his leap until his 4th year.
I mean, he started off well. But
he started off well, but we didn't expect him to do what he was doing now. That's the thing. He was averaging, 19, 18 a game, but you can't sit here and tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, I already in a second year, I already consider him a superstar.
I love him. I love Anthony Edwards. I loved him.
But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Like coming from Georgia, like you don't see basketball Georgia players all of a sudden having that expectation to be like big superstars. Like,
of course,
name me one Georgia player. Like Georgia's a football program more than a basketball program.
Yeah,
that's reality.
Raul, give your takeaways real quick.
That's reality. So I understand. I'm actually agreeing with you. I understand what you're talking about Anthony Edwards. Like, yeah, he was the number 1 pick. For us to basically, or other analysts, be comparing him to a Jordan Ness, Kobe mentality.
No one saw that. I'm sorry. Like, no one saw that. Nobody saw that. I understand. Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Like for us to be talking about that, like nobody expected that from him. We expected him to be like most of them compare him like a D Wade type of player that he's gonna be athletic, hype. He's gonna get better in his shooting. But yeah, that type of Jordan-esque, like a lot of sports analysts have been talking about, and that Kobe mentality and the way he chirps and the way like he defends everything that he talks towards players, you know what I'm saying? When he wants that beef, like we never expect that big of a hype from that player, especially when he can be the face of the league. Eventually, when LeBron, Curry, and Durant is not on the court anymore. But I'm not gonna. Since we're gonna go to baseball, I think I've spoken a lot, and I'm gonna be very, very specific. The Western Conference is even more packed than ever. It's like the AFC and the NFL. Like it's crazy. But I'm going with the Heat, Sixers,
and the team that is undefeated, Milwaukee. Those are the three biggest storylines. Why? Sixers, one of the most disappointing teams we've seen in NBA history, if not the most. And now I have these rumors that Joel Embiid's probably not even going to start the season. We don't know what's going to go around with Paul George. They got VJ Edgecombe, which is an amazing rookie. They got Tyrese Maxey. And then now, Jared McCain. A couple of weeks ago, Anthony reported us McCain's going to be out for the beginning of the season. And it's so, like, it's a black cat running around that stadium. Like, there's so many questions with Philadelphia that is crazy. Like, is Joel Embiid going to be healthy? If Paul George going to last the whole season with that team? And when I'm talking about the lasting, I'm not talking about only health-wise. Like, what if the Sixers have another bad start and then he asks to be traded out? And then Maxey, I mean, what?
No one's taking Paul George's contract. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know that's a difficult scenario, but you already know how things go around the league. You know, expect the unexpected. We already saw Doncic and Anthony Davis situation. Expect the unexpected. Then we also got Tyrese Maxey. Is he gonna lose patience even though he's on a big contract? Like right now, like he's probably gonna be dismotivated with everything that's surrounding. And then BJ Edgecombe, all right. Let's just say he's got expectations, but not like the rest of the rookies. And then Jared McCain is going to be out to the beginning. It's like, and then they lost a couple of players that are not going to be as role or reserve coming next season. So there's so many question marks with that team. And they are next to the Heat without winning. Mm-hmm. Then you got the Heat that Eric Spoelstra just got selected as USA team.
Congrats to him, by the way.
Congrats to him. Well deserved, and I'm very happy for him. But now, this losses, I'm not going to blame him.
No, I wouldn't either.
It's the same thing. They take bad decisions. I'm sorry. I'm not going to even go to it because I already know in this, since we work for the organization, we can, unless we have permission.
Well, you guys got to be careful.
We can't have that much details, but we're still making bad decisions in clutch moments. We're still making too many turnovers, bad shot decisions, and defensively, we're making stops. And as a reward, we're not basically producing offensively.
At least not consistently, because they showed flashes.
It's not consistently. In the past seasons, we've been one of the worst offensive teams. What we saw in Puerto Rico against Orlando, what we saw both games at home, what we just saw both games on the road, and now we have a home game on Friday. Let's see how was the outcome if we finish 1-5 at least or 0-6. Like the Heat still have their issues offensively with so many different scenarios, and they're right now dead last in the East.
Yeah,
I know they don't got expectations, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and then Milwaukee
expectations, but either way, like
they still should have a better season
every year. I mean, just look at the last 2 out of 3 years, second 8 seed in NBA history to make the final, first 10 seed to make the playoffs.
That's why I always say in Spoelstra we trust.
Yeah,
and
so you know me. I don't have my beef with Spoelstra. I don't.
We already know who does. That's not.
But either way,
he who must be named.
But either way, even without expectations, like alluding to your point, you could still make the case that he can have a better season than the Heat have. He'd have more upside than the Sixers.
Definitely, no, most definitely. Because there's little questions towards them than the Sixers.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a circus there. And now Milwaukee.
I never believed in the Sixers, mainly because I don't believe in Joel Embiid.
Yeah, true. And just to end this segment, and let's do a 5-minute quick, just to end it at the 1 hour mark with baseball. Milwaukee, another team that we've had questions about Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're 3-0 and number 1 in the East. I know it's preseason, but that's exactly what Giannis wants to see. A competitive team, a team that he believes that he can still win a chip, a team that he would not like to leave because he said it. Loyalty is the most important thing. But then we've heard opposite things in the past few months, especially with the departure of Damian Lillard, which he didn't departed. They departed him.
Yeah.
And so they resigned Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., they signed Miles Turner and other pieces like Milwaukee, and we signed Bobby Portis. They're not a bad team, but at the same time, he's not satisfied with what he has, that he can believe, even on a flexible Eastern Conference, that he can win a chip. And that's the team that is undefeated in the preseason. So basically, it's the Eastern Conference that
keep in mind
has big takeaways.
Keep in mind this real quick, even with loyalty, and I know Giannis wants to stay there and everything, but even his wife, like, it was reported that his family moved to Greece. So either way,
that's the ending of his career. Calm down, man.
But either way, it's clear that they didn't like Milwaukee, and I feel like at some point Giannis is gonna break on that whole loyalty thing. I don't think it's gonna be this season.
So should his wife consider New York, Miami, Los Angeles, whatever?
I'm not gonna have people to the fire on that one, but I will say I believe next summer, I think we're gonna have real discussions, especially if they fall short with, which I expect that they will.
I feel that we're gonna have conversations in this show.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
First half of the season.
Yeah. Oh,
if he asks his trade, depending on what situation position the Milwaukee Bucks at. All right. So last minute rundown quickly with what we're seeing in baseball. The Seattle Mariners offense shows up in Game 2 with a big win, 10-3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. The Mariners lead the ALCS 2-0. Can the Blue Jays come back in this series? Anthony, let's give you the first one.
No. I believe Seattle closes this out. If not in 4
or 0?
4 or 5. I expect them to close out in 4 or 5. Listen, the Blue Jays had their chance in Game 2 to come back in the series and make it interesting. And they just couldn't come through. And especially, what was it, the 6th inning in which they scored all those runs? I forgot which inning it was. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I don't know. This is giving, and you're gonna love this, Nick.
It was all about Randy Arozarena. It was about Julio Rodriguez.
This is giving. It was
about everybody.
Bro, this is giving, and Nick is gonna love it. This is giving Maple Leafs vibe. A great season, and you had a bunch of expectations, and then come playoff time, yes, you beat the Yankees. That was a highlight, but you're so close to getting to the World Series, and right now you're choking everything away.
Right now, Polanco is killing it for them. He was the hero on Friday in that 15-inning stretch that made that walk-off hit to send J.P. Crawford to home plate and basically scored that third and last run. And it was the most extended game in MLB postseason history in a decisive.
I watched all innings. I watched every inning. It was exhausting. It was the
longest. It was the longest.
And that's another thing. Detroit, before the Guardians had their explosive
Detroit got pitchers.
Yeah. Exactly. They were considered the best team. And
in that game, Screwball had in 6 innings 13 strikeouts.
Yeah,
and that still didn't give Detroit the win. So it's understandable that they didn't lose. They didn't produce explosively offensively because they were playing against one of the best pitchers in the league.
And again, okay, Blue Jays, they faced the Yankees, and yes, obviously when you go against that kind of team,
bad defense, they're great. Bad defense and bad pitching.
Expectations, and of course you get a lot of.
I face reality. I'm a Jackie fan, but I face reality. We were trash.
But here's the thing, though: the Mariners are more battle tested. That Detroit series, if anything, that was their hardest series.
But Anthony, what's crazy is I know that the Mariners, they finished 13 in pitching. Like they got a good bullpen. But for a Yankees team, which is horrible, allowed 34 runs in 4 games. They have allowed 4 runs in 2 games. My X factor has been the bullpen for Seattle, even though offensively yesterday they had a big impact.
Yeah, but either way, like you're seeing Cal, even Cal rise to the occasion at times. You're seeing, like you said, Rodriguez, like these guys are they're
Eugenio Suarez.
Yes,
JP
these guys are
Crawford,
battle
Jorge
tested.
Polanco, like
These guys are way more battle tested right now than the Blue Jays, respectfully. So to me, not saying this is a cakewalk, because obviously getting to the
yeah,
World Series is hard, but I just think that they are way more sharper, and they're
more
not the kind of
balanced
team
and more balanced.
they're way more balanced, and I think even they understand their margin for error is small, and they just excel every time.
They're
So
one of the they better defensive team than Toronto. So my
exactly.
takeaway is no, they cannot. I'll give a minimum 5 games, maximum 6 games. Seattle
Yeah,
going to the World Series.
yeah,
Nick,
but also you lose the first 2 games at home. I mean, that's hell right there. That is your
their
backs are against the
their
wall
backs
now.
against the wall. Yeah.
Nick,
Well, I'm going to defer from both of you. I'm going to say I think they can make a 2-0 comeback. You know, if they can protect their bullpen and get consistent starts, I think
You
they'll
know
be fine.
that the Blue Jays
They've
have
had
one
one
of
of
the
the
worst.
worst. They've had a terrible bullpens. I know. They've had one of the worst terrible bullpens, but I think it's terrible because of how hard they push their relievers to go into those games. Now, if they can get
Yeah,
consistent starts and they can start hitting the ball very well, like what they used to be at, where
yeah,
remind you, they used
yeah.
to be the number 1 offensive team in the nation.
No, they are.
They are.
I
Sorry,
mean,
they are.
they are. They finished number 1 in batting
Well,
this
to me,
season.
they used to because they're down 2-0 against the Brewers. So the Brewers are really still on their stride right now.
34 runs in 4 games against the Yankees. Only 4 in 2 games.
Oh, that's what I'm
Understandable.
saying. Like, if they can get good, consistent runs from their depth and their hitters, if they can get good, consistent starts from their pitchers, and they get a nice, and they even if all their fucking relievers, sorry, excuse my language, all the relievers have to do is just neutralize the game. That's it. That's all they have to do. They just have to control the game, regardless if it's 1 hit, 2 hits, or like a couple runs. Just neutralize them, bro. Just make sure to take them out of a couple innings, and that's it. Regardless of how many hits they have.
But Nick, would you say it's honestly harder for them because of the fact that the Mariners
Absolutely.
have a bunch of guys that can really hit the ball so well?
Absolutely. But that's why, like, again, you're going. It's 2 powerhouse offensive teams going up against each other, and Seattle's done the better job of pitching. That's just where it
What's
stands.
crazy?
You know?
What's crazy is that after the trade deadline, I actually had the Blue Jays and the Mariners going all the way to the American Championship Series because they were the biggest winners next to the Astros. Remember when we talked about that?
Yeah.
And I have both of them, and so right now, like at the end of the season, Seattle was a little bit more balanced. I had Seattle as a sleeper, and I had them going all the way to the AL Championship game. But now facing probably the Yankees or Toronto, which now they're doing with explosive offense explosiveness from the Blue Jays that we saw against the Yankees. Like at the same time, that bullpen from the Mariners have done an amazing job.
It's with every sport though.
Them.
If you can steal game 3, your odds are gonna go up. That's just the way it works. You're gonna take the momentum and you're gonna give it to yourself and be like, okay, let's just take this 1 game at a time. We took this game, we can steal another one, and we can take it back home. Or even then, we can lose and try to win the next 2 at home. You know, but even then, I think
agree.
I don't want to knock them out because 2-0.
Agree to disagree.
Just to end this off, so we go to the next series. The Mariners finished 51-30 at home in the regular season. I like their odds. Honestly, man.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, so now going to the National League Championship Series, Los Angeles Dodgers trying to repeat, take game 1 of the series after a 2-1 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. Can the Brewers pull off the upset? I'm gonna give it first to Nick, then you. No,
you start this one. You haven't.
All right, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it real quick. I didn't understand this question because the Brewers actually finished number 1 in the league, but from our producer's perspective, obviously the Dodgers, with all the money that they invested on star players, and they got more experience than the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't see Milwaukee pulling up upset. I still see the Dodgers. And marketing-wise, can you guys see Milwaukee and Seattle in a World Series? Like, that's going to be, like, probably the most worst viewership in history.
I'd watch it.
I mean, we got to watch it, Anthony. But try to think of your fiance or her friends. Like, oh, yeah, let's go to a bar and watch Milwaukee against Seattle. They're gonna be
I
like,
would.
who?
I would.
Who?
I am.
Who?
I am that much of
Who?
a sports junkie that I would.
What league? NFL, MLB, NBA? What? Like nobody's gonna want to watch that series. At least if Seattle goes, let's put a team that can match up offensively against them, and also in the pitching.
But Raul,
I mean, Brewers got a good bullpen. I'm not gonna lie about that. Right now, where the Dodgers lose superior is offensively and defensively. Better pitching, the Brewers have it.
Raul, the same thing was said with the NBA Finals when the Heat went against Denver. It was going to be like the least viewed finals. They did better in viewership compared to Boston.
No, that was being spoken about OKC and Indiana.
That too, and even then,
people rather watch OKC and Boston. People would, if OKC is going to finals, all right, let's put Miami in it, like in 2012. All right, let's put Boston Celtic in it. Let's put Boston Celtic. Let's put the Knicks on it. Okay. But
it still did better.
We're putting Indiana and OKC. You already know that.
I'm pretty sure it did better than Boston and Dallas. I'm pretty sure it did better.
No, it did not.
We'll see you later.
Even though they have more games, no, it did not. Because you had Kyrie Irving and Luka against Jason and Jalen. In this case, you got Tyrese Haliburton and who else? Against Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. Tyrese and Miles Turner. I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect them, but Tyrese Haliburton and Miles Turner, Haliburton and tell me who was the next?
Aaron Neesmith ain't no bum. Aaron Neesmith is not. You saw what he did against the Knicks. Come on, man.
That's marketing for you, Nick.
No,
man. Y'all.
Andrew Nembhard. That's not marketing. That's marketing.
Listen.
I would put more Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton than.
Just very quickly. The NBA Finals viewership has been going down every single year since 2013. Okay, so we've known about this.
Well, this one was worse.
Okay. Well, let me ask you guys this in terms of this game. Okay. Bottom of the ninth. 2 bases are loaded. 2 outs. Bryce Turan. I forgot which pitch it was.
Freddy Peralta. You're talking about who's getting all right? Who's the offense? And who's the defense?
I'm talking about in game 1 of this series. There was a pitch that could have hit him in the knee, that could have had the game tied because they were still down 1 run. Do you guys think that he should have taken the hit? Because that's a debate right now with media. Should he have taken the hit?
I mean, whichever player will do a sacrifice.
Yep.
So the answer should be yes. But at the same time, you can. But at the same time, you can get either suspended or fined if you're doing it on purpose. Like if you're trying to.
True, but actually
trying to get hit, you can try to do it the least.
Yeah, no,
obvious.
Here's the thing though. If you look back at that specific at bat,
players are gonna avoid it, Anthony. Players are gonna avoid
of course,
it.
And I'm not putting the blame on him not doing it, but at the same time, the stakes are high. You're going to the bottom of it's literally the final at bat. There's no one else who can save you right now, and had you stayed still and taking the hit to the knee, then you tie the game up and you can push for overtime or potentially get another run and take the lead. So it's it's tough, he was put in a tough situation.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. But I mean, the X factor yesterday was Blake Snell. Blake Snell went crazy, and he's 3-0. He's got 28 strikeouts and under 1 point in WHIP and ERA. That's crazy. That's so efficient. That's so consistent. He had 9 strikeouts against the Reds, 9 strikeouts against the Phillies, 10 yesterday. Right now, he's been a big factor for the Dodgers to be the favorites to make it at least minimum to the World Series again and see if they can repeat. But no, the answer is no. I don't see the Brewers pulling an offset, especially marketing-wise. The MLB will do something about it if they see the Brewers trying to make something and capturing some victories that can put the Dodgers.
The umps got their money in the right place.
With their back against the wall, I don't see Mariners. A lot of people want Toronto and Los Angeles, but I can see Seattle and Los Angeles but Seattle and Milwaukee, I just can't see that. So my answer is no. What about you guys? Just in the segment.
Give me the Brewers. I will give me the Brewers, man. I listen. They got a bit lucky that again in game 1. I'll say that. I mean, these are two teams again that can really pull off offensively. I think the Brewers will bounce back, and I think give it 6 games. Give me 6. Give me Brewers in 6.
All right, I respect that. What about you, Mr. Blue Jay?
I don't think the Brewers are going to make the comeback. I think the Dodgers are going to.
All right, there you go.
I think
give me the
money
underdog.
talks. Except with the Dolphins, money talks. Except for the Yankees too.
There you go. Ratings. Hey, Anthony, ratings are a big factor. I'm just saying, man.
If OKC and Indiana can make an NBA Finals, why not Seattle and Milwaukee?
I'm not. That's a true point, but
I'm not a betting man either.
We cannot see another final series like that again.
Man, that was
twice in 2025. Even though it went to 7 games, we just cannot see that.
Bro, that was a great series. I'm sorry, but if the league won,
it was a good series, and if Tyrese wouldn't got injury,
yeah, exactly. Who knows?
That would have been a different outcome.
If the league wanted it their way, they would have New York and Los Angeles every freaking year.
Yep.
I mean, injuries also is a factor. So and depth.
Yeah,
the Knicks didn't have bench.
No, they didn't.
The Pacers.
But shocking.
This year, the Knicks are actually more dangerous, in my opinion. I mean, Detroit looks very nice. I'm not going to lie about that. Cleveland looks the same. Let's just say the Hawks are actually going to be an interesting team like what we saw in 2021. Orlando, let's just put them in the map before Anthony starts raging at us. But right now, the Knicks, they actually got depth in the bench with Jordan Clarkson, Warren Yabusele.
I've said it before, because even though I believe the Magic can make a deep playoff run, I believe the Knicks are their biggest threat. I've said that before.
It's going to be interesting. So next week, or actually since next Tuesday, a week from now, the NBA season starts. We're going to do the same thing with the NFL. We're going to give our predictions, like who are the teams that are going to make it to the playoffs without participating in the play-in, who are going to be participating in the play-in, and who are the 2 teams that are going to make it out. And then basically our award predictions, and mostly which are the teams that we expect to be contenders and the favorites to make it to the finals. And then we'll see from there. So I'm Raul Pagan, Anthony Aguirre, Nick Dupont. I'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Peace, boys.
See ya.